Across Scotland, new technology is changing the way we care for older and vulnerable people. It's called Telecare, and it's designed to give support and independence to carers and the people they care for. In homes throughout the country, it's transforming lives.
We've had it just over a year and it has made a difference. I don't think we'd be without it now.
It enables me to lead a more normal life, really.
There is no doubt in my mind that my mother would not be able to stay in her own home if it wasn't for the Telecare support.
I don't think I could do without it now.
It's their call. And lock the door.
It's a lifeline to normality.
It was the best thing I've ever done. I wished I'd got it years ago.
Telecare is basically a range of technology and the associated services which allow people to stay at home for longer in safety and independence and security.
Telecare uses devices that send a signal usually to a carer or to a monitoring centre to call for assistance.
I think it's actually brilliant. There is a vast amount of equipment out there. This is only a very, very small selection. It does enable people to live at home longer on their own and live as independently in their own house as possible.
Perhaps the piece of Telecare that people will be most familiar with will be the basic community alarm, what we call the button and box. And this is a base unit and alarm button, usually worn as a pendant round the neck. It can be worn on the wrist as well. And they press that button to highlight that there's a crisis of some sort.
The community alarm, or button and box, makes a vital difference to many people, like Sheila and Simon.
I cared for my husband, Simon. About 2.5 years ago, Simon got damage to his spine and it's left him unable to walk, unable to support his own weight. It's also left his left hand quite paralysed as well.
Bye.
It was quite scary, the thought that he would come out of hospital and I wouldn't be able to manage him, because I knew he would be very dependent. I couldn't be away from home very long because we live very remotely here and nobody would call in on him for a long time, so it would be quite worrying.
But Sheila's fears were overcome when an occupational therapist recommended Telecare.
Okay then, Simon, want to watch telly and things? The Telecare we have is the kind where Simon has a cord around his neck with a red button, and if anything were to happen he would press the red button if he fell or if the house caught fire or just anything really. So can you press for us, Simon, please? Can you press the button?
Do not worry, your alarm telephone is dialing for assistance. Your call has been accepted. Please wait. Hi, Mr. Oakes. You're through to Melissa at Hanover Telecare.
Hello, hi, it's just Mrs. Oakes. We're just testing. Thank you very much.
Well, that's great, Mrs. Oakes. That's coming to us loud and clear.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye. If Simon really had a problem, he would try to talk to them if he was close enough. And if he couldn't hear them and couldn't converse with them, they would just keep saying, don't worry, and they would dial the neighbours up the road in turn. And if they got no response, they would just call the ambulance anyway. I think it enables him to lead a much more normal life. If he felt that people had to be in with him all the time, I think he would feel quite frustrated and it would be irritating to him, whereas he can just sort of get on and watch whatever he wants or do whatever he wants, knowing that if anything happens, it's there to press of a button.
And Sheila has the freedom to continue her business as a driving instructor, something she feels certain she would have lost without Telecare.
I'm definitely leading a much more normal life because of that. I wouldn't be able to go out and run my business and leave him unattended all this time if he didn't have it. Absolutely not.
We're now moving far more onto second generation Telecare now, and by that I mean that we have more intelligent sensors that remove the need for the service user to actually raise the alarm by pushing a button. So these devices actually can sense a crisis and automatically make that phone call to the control centre. The most common sensor that we use would be a falls detector, which is a little box worn round the service user's waist, and basically that detects when somebody is toppled and automatically raises the alarm.
Having a fall detector has been a crucial support for Margaret and Bob.
It's my husband. He's got heart disease, vascular problems. He takes epileptic seizures and he has problems with his walking.
As Bob's health deteriorated, it became impossible to leave him unattended.
A couple of times I came back and he was lying on the floor because he couldn't get back up again on his own. Or if he banged his head, because he has aneurysms, and anything could happen if he was going to fall and start bleeding internally.
The care manager at the GP surgery recommended Telecare.
We've got the Telecare alarm, and he's also got a pendant he wears around his neck, and he also wears a fall alarm when he's in on his own, and if it's tilted to the side, you know, if he falls, it goes off as well.
Now Margaret has peace of mind when she needs to go into town. If Bob has a fall, the control unit will send an emergency call to the monitoring centre, who will contact her straight away.
We've had it just over a year, and it has made a difference. You don't have the same panic attacks when you're out if you think he may have fallen, because if he does fall and his alarm does go off, you're informed within a couple of minutes, and it really is good. And I think he feels the same as well. And I don't think we'd be without it now, because it really is very assuring.